Pull up a chair, fill up a plate, come over early, you gonna stay late. Ain't nothing better than music and friends. It's gatherings and guitars. On today's episode of Gatherings and Guitars, Jennifer interviews multi-talented artist Lisa Stewart. They talk about her early musical influences, moving to Nashville and starting her career. She even gives her favorite mayonnaise. It's episode 10 of Gatherings and Guitars.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here for Gatherings and Guitars. Today we have Lisa Stewart, a precious friend who got to meet years ago at the farm when she came to sing with Leroy Parnell. And she has such a beautiful career of her own, and she has a jazz trio that performs here in Nashville a lot and does all kinds of things. We'll let you talk about that in just a minute. So, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm happy to be here.
Good.
I'm happy
so
to see
glad
that
you're
your
here.
book is complete.
Finally here.
Yeah,
I know.
it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has.
I'm
5
so
years.
excited for you. I'm so excited
I
for
know.
you, and I have looked through it, and the recipes are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But they're simple. There's nothing there's nothing too hard or that you're going to have crazy ingredients or anything like that. Right. So, because most of the time it is truly dealing with farm to table ingredients that are sourced close to you.
I love that.
Yeah. So, okay, in your musical career, I love asking everyone this. When was the moment when you were, when you're young, do you remember a moment when you felt that music was just really special to you?
I've loved music from literally the day I was born. My mother is a classical pianist, and she told me that when I was in her tummy, if she felt me getting restless or whatever, she would sit down and play the piano, and I would calm down. I've always been moved by music. I've always loved it. When I was growing up, there was always music playing in our home, on the radio, or my mother's piano, or my brother's turntable.
Yeah.
Church was a big thing, all those wonderful hymns. But the first performance that I did as singing, I was 6 years old, and it was in church. And after that performance, I just knew this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. Isn't that beautiful? So it was in church?
Yes.
Do you remember what you sang?
Yes, I sang a song by Bill and Gloria Gaither called
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, I Heard You Had a Big House.
Yes, I remember that song.
It was a little 45 record.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, big floods of memories with that.
Aww.
We listened to Bill and Gloria growing up. Knew all of their songs really. Okay, but at what point in your journey did you think, okay, I'm going to do this as a career? I'm giving up all the other things, and this is what I'm going to do.
Well, it was time to decide about college,
Yes.
And I knew that I wanted to study music, and so I started looking at different universities all over the country, and I knew that I needed to be in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Nashville, somewhere where there's a musical hub.
Right.
And so I auditioned. The first place I went was Belmont because it's close to my family in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I auditioned for the music staff there and got the Roy Acuff Scholarship to attend Belmont.
Wow.
So I started there, and of course I blew my scholarship in the first year. I was having way too much fun. Yes, because I was singing with jazz combos in the evenings, and going to school as a full-time student, and it's a lot,
Yes.
But I managed to get by. My senior year, I ended up getting signed to a division of RCA Records called B&A, and I lacked about 7 hours graduating. But I embarked on that whole journey of touring, making albums, and doing the whole artist thing for several years. And 10 years later, I asked my dad one year, what would you like for your birthday? And he said, I'd like for you to finish up your degree. So I went back. I went to summer school. I got those last 7 hours 10 years after I left.
Wow.
And finished up and got my degree in vocal performance at Belmont.
You.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it.
Because I got to that point and I never did the last 8 hours. Actually, it was 12 for me.
Okay.
12 hours.
Well, it's never too late. You know? I'll tell you, it's never too late. I really wanted to do that for my dad. You know, not so much for myself.
Fantastic.
Because people don't ask you if you have a degree or not.
Right.
It's more about what you can do.
Exactly.
But my dad was very happy.
That's wonderful. Oh, I love that.
Now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Lisa Stewart. Head on over to oldquailrunfarm.com and pick up your copy of Gatherings and Guitars by the fabulous Jennifer Taylor.
Now back to the show.
So, when you're not on the road or performing, when you're at home, are you the cook in
I
the family?
am.
Do you love to cook?
I really do love to cook. I come from a long line of great cooks. My grandmother had a kitchen the size of this table, but she could feed an army. You know? And my mother is an amazing cook. My dad was one of 14 children. His mother was an amazing cook.
Wow.
So food is very important to our family, and I love to cook, and it's another creative outlet.
Absolutely.
And I love doing creative things, and I love, it was fun when my son was really little because I would do all kinds of fun things with food. Make things look like animals, or the presentation. There's a lot of fun. There's just so much you can do with food, and I love to cook.
April Fool's Day, I used to do things on my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then like green eggs and ham day.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yes, and it started with our oldest, who's almost 30 now. We were living in Kentucky. That's when I was coming here and working on a career, and he was a baby. And we had fruit trees in our yard, and I would get fresh green beans and that sort of thing and started making him his food because I didn't want to go buy stuff at the grocery store. I didn't want to buy Gerber. So, that started, and now my children are they each have family traditions around food that I cannot waver from.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Isn't it amazing how
it has to be
important
this?
that is?
Yes.
Right.
Valentine's Day, they have to have the heart-shaped chocolate chip cookie. I mean, it's just things like that.
Yeah.
And they're 30 and 25 and 24. And if they don't get a heart-shaped chocolate chip cookie for Valentine's Day, they think the world's coming to an end.
Well, yeah. Well, we have to have my mother's dressing.
Yes.
Which is my grandmother's recipe.
Yes.
At the holidays, for Thanksgiving. And a lot of times she makes so much, she'll freeze it.
Yes.
And we'll have the rest at Christmas. And it's fine. It works. Or she'll make a whole and it's the cornbread dressing.
Yes. Has to be cornbread dressing.
Cornbread dressing.
So do you make it now?
Yes, I have made it.
Okay.
It's just not as good as hers.
Listen, so my dad was diagnosed with bladder cancer 8.5 years ago, almost 9 years ago. And we were in the middle of, he and I had taken on the project of our home, the farmhouse that you came to.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Yes. And when we bought it, it was half the size it is, and it was just, it hadn't been touched in years and years and years. So he and I embarked on that construction project together, and within 3 months, he was diagnosed with bladder cancer.
I'm so sorry.
Well, at the time, because of our project, we had moved in with Mom and Dad, and we're living. They had an apartment above the garage there at their farm, and but it gave me the opportunity to every night cook and have dinner with them.
Oh, that's great.
Which was very special. But there were two things that my dad was way more of a cook than my mom was. But I learned everything that I know pretty much from my grandmother, my mom's mom. Mm-hmm. But Dad, no one touched cornbread dressing and sausage gravy and biscuits. Like he did those.
Don't deviate from the recipe.
And no one made them besides him.
Okay.
And so during that 6 months of living there, he made sure that me and my daughter, he went through the routine of the sausage gravy, how you make it, and the same with the cornbread dressing, so that we knew exactly how to make it. And ever since then, my brother and my sister and I, every year, everybody makes their own pan of cornbread dressing.
Do you have a contest?
It's whose tastes most like Dad's.
Oh, I love it. That's great. That's great. I love that.
Yes.
Oh,
So, and it was always
sweet.
cornbread. Yeah. So he was the master of cornbread dressing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
every year when my mom puts it on the table, she goes, I don't know if it's as good as Mother's.
Oh my
Or
dad.
or
always
she'll
said
say,
that.
"Oh, I nailed it this year. I nailed it. Dig in, you know." And so there's
love
always
that.
I wonder if it's gonna be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like she wanted it to be, you know.
Because you're not measuring ingredients when you make it.
Well, that's right.
It's shake,
It-
shake,
it's-
shake with
it's-
love.
and it's a feel. And
It
and it's a
is.
texture. It's like you know how
Yes.
wet it needs to be before you put it in the oven.
Yep.
But you don't really know how much you put in there.
No, absolutely
Right?
not.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
never be able to put it in a cookbook.
No.
Because you can't.
You just can't. No, it'll be wrong.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That was a challenge for me with this book, which I don't call it a cookbook. I call it a table book with stories and recipes.
Love that. That's
So, but I was very much challenged with trying to put to paper what exactly or how exactly I made things because I usually don't use recipes,
Right.
which
And
I learned from my grandmother.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah.
what it looks like in my hand. You know, like seasonings. I know how much I know where it sits in my hand, and
Yes.
I don't know how much that is in a teaspoon or
Exactly.
a quarter. I don't know. You know, it's just that's how much.
Yep.
You know, I
you
don't
let
know.
the spirits guide you.
You do, and you taste along the way, and yeah. It's that's that creative element, you know,
Absolutely.
and the love.
Yeah.
There is a difference. If you are cooking with love, it truly makes a difference.
Transcends. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
100%. So, what is your son's favorite meal that you make?
Oh, he loves my red beans and rice,
Oh, yum.
which is one of my mother's recipes that she shared with me. And because we're from Mississippi,
Yeah.
you know, and that came up from Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we've got that kind of thing going on. He also loves my chicken that I do. I do like a roast chicken that's really good. He loves that. He loves my spaghetti sauce, homemade spaghetti sauce. What else does he love? And I've taught him how to make eggs
Yes.
any way you like them.
Good.
Boys need to know how to make eggs.
Boys need to know how to cook.
Yeah, they
Yes.
need to know how to cook.
Yes.
And so I'm teaching him.
Good.
He's 15 now.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple more years
Yes, you do.
to teach him
Before
how
he
to
heads
do
off to
stuff.
college.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also loves. I do smoothies a lot.
Yeah.
In my Vitamix. And he loves those. And he's working out all the time now, so I do protein powders and
Right.
all that stuff. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
make him special stuff.
So when you're cooking, do you always have music playing?
I love to have music playing, and it's usually gypsy jazz music or some form of Billie Holiday or Chet Baker,
Oh yeah.
all that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stefan Grappelli,
Oh, fun.
all that stuff
Yeah.
to me. Now, I have, as sort of a lesson to my son in the past, whenever I've made like an Italian meal, I'll put opera on
Yes.
and introduce him
Yes.
to that world.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
We
fun.
talked about that with Linda and Lang, and a couple others artists have said that whatever the genre of food is that they're cooking,
You match
they
it with the
love
music.
they love to match the music to it. Linda and Lang were saying though that Linda said, I have one playlist, and that's what I play.
Yeah.
And I said, well, now you have another playlist because there is a QR code in the front of this book that plays 4 songs from each of the artists.
Oh,
So there's 24 song playlist that you can listen to while you cook in
that
your kitchen.
is such a cool idea.
Thank
I didn't.
you.
I've looked through the book at the recipes, but
Yeah.
I didn't see that in
Yeah.
there. That's really cool.
Isn't that fun?
You're so
Yeah.
brilliant.
Well, it came from me wanting the person that buys this to get a glimpse of the experience.
Right.
Of
Because you're a
being at the
musician
farm.
too.
Yes.
You're an amazing singer. You're a creative.
Yes.
You're an amazing
Creative.
host.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
a great
you.
visual person.
Thank
and
you.
you've just combined it all right here.
I
That's,
wanted them to feel it, to get the whole package. And that's hard to do from a book, you know?
well, I think you've done it.
Well, thank you very,
Yeah.
very much. Okay, so where can people find you and see what's coming and all
Well,
of those good things?
Thank you. There are about to be more places where people can find me. I just got out of the studio. I was writing new music, and I was able to record music that I've written that is in the style of the 1940s era jazz. And
Which I
it's-
got to hear Butterfly
Yeah, you got to hear
the
a couple
other day. It was
Butterfly. Thank you.
beautiful.
And Bad
Loved
for
it.
Me.
Yes, that was so good.
Yes. So thank you. I appreciate that. That was the
Absolutely.
first time I've played those for anyone, and I'm so happy that you liked them. That means a lot to
Beautiful.
me. Thank you.
Beautiful. I loved the style of the songs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I had someone sent me a note after that show and said that they felt that they were listening to some new music that had just sort of been discovered that had been written in the 40s. So that was neat to hear
That's
that
exactly right.
that it was
Yeah.
accomplished. You know, that's what I had hoped to do. So yeah, but that's what I listen to all the time.
Yes.
So that's where my brain is. But yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Lisa Stewart _real. And that's STEWART. And I spell Lisa LISA. There are a lot of different spellings.
Yeah, there is.
_real REAL. Or at Lisa Stewart Music on Facebook, or just Lisa Stewart on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be getting all the new music out on all the digital platforms. So be watching for that. Yeah.
Fun. So when is that happening? Do you
I'm
know
not
yet?
exactly sure yet.
Yeah.
Because we're still working on like album art and all that stuff too. And as you know,
Yeah.
it takes some time.
It does.
And there
It does.
are certain times of the year when it's not a good time to do a release, when everybody kind of goes to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, for the holidays
Exactly.
or whatever, the January. So we're just looking at when will be the best time for a release. I'm thinking probably spring
Yeah.
of next year would be a perfect time to release Butterfly. You know, to release the butterfly in the spring.
It'll happen in the perfect time.
Thank you.
I with this book, the number 222 has just been a thing, a guide for me through the years. My birthday is 222. And for years and years, anytime I'm praying or thinking about something and I'm asking for direction, that number will appear, and I feel that that's giving me, you know,
The guidance
the
you
yes,
need.
and that the Lord's just given me a wink to say that's what. Yes, you're
That's
on the
beautiful,
right path.
yeah.
And so when I went to write this book and create the map for what we were going to do, I wanted it to be 222 pages.
I love that.
And so, but the really cool thing that happened was when it didn't release when it was supposed to, we ended up being in editing for way longer than I thought. And almost truly 8 to 10 months later than we really thought was our hard, release
Yes, you
date.
and I were talking during that time. And you were telling me it was in the process, and then there were some setbacks and things, and I remember because we were
Yeah.
like talking to each other during that time.
Yes, and I really thought it was going to happen. Well, it didn't, and I just had to finally just let go.
Yeah.
I just had to let go of it, and when I finally got the "it has been shipped" email, then I knew that it was 8 weeks from then, and so I decided to give it a 2-week cushion after that, before we did our launch party. And I went to the calendar to circle the day that I thought would be a good release date, which was August 9th. And in the food world, everything we do out of our kitchen and what chefs do is we use a Julienne date, not the date of the year.
Okay.
So, which the Julienne date is the day of the year.
Okay.
What day that actually is of the year. So I went to circle that day, and underneath it in tiny print, it was the 222nd day of the year.
That's amazing. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's
so
wonderful.
it will happen in the perfect time, in the perfect season.
Yeah.
And even though we get really frustrated and want it to be in our timing, God's timing is so much better.
It is the best. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah.
And that I do. I dedicate. I mean, this is the way I look at creativity. When they say that we're made in God's image, He is the great creator.
Absolutely.
And I think the thing in us that is creative is the thing that is reflective of His image in us.
That's beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
God in us.
Yes.
And I just dedicate everything I do that's creative and thank Him for it, because it's not me.
Right.
It's the reflection of Him.
Yeah.
And so yes, it'll be whenever it's His timing,
Right.
and I'm good with that.
Yeah. Good. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for being here
Oh,
today.
it's my honor.
And
I'm happy to be a part
being
of
a
celebrate
part of
this with you.
I know.
It's great.
Thank you. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us here for Gatherings and Guitars, and we'll see you next time. Hey everybody, today we're in the kitchen with Lisa Stewart, and I wanted to share with her one of the simple bites in the very first chapter of the book. I give you some very simple and quick appetizer ideas to throw together with usually stuff that you're just going to have in your kitchen. So this is a great summer bite that I do quite a bit in the spring and summer. It pairs great with a Sauv Blanc, even a Pinot Grigio. Because when you balance a Sauv Blanc, which can sometimes be tart, you want to give it the balance of fat. So the fat in the white cheddar cheese and the prosciutto is going to really balance out the tartness of a Sauv Blanc. Or a Pinot Grigio. So, it's going to smooth it out beautifully. Today we're drinking Pays You from Napa Sonoma, which is one of my favorites. Love it. Been to their winery. They are fantastic people. So, the most important thing about this bite is making sure that your apple slice is thick enough to be a base. Okay? And you want to taste it, you know? So, and I do you have favorite kinds of apples that you like?
I like the Honeycrisp apples. I think those are amazing. I love those.
That's what this is.
Is it Honeycrisp?
Yes, it is.
Right.
So I love Honeycrisp and Cosmic.
I haven't had Cosmic. No.
We just found Cosmic like 2 years ago, honey. Something like that.
I love the texture of Honeycrisp though. It's nice. It's super crisp. Like
yes, yes, I do too. There's nothing worse than a mealy apple.
Yeah.
Do you know that there's like thousands upon thousands of varieties of apples?
I knew there were a lot of them, but I didn't know there were thousands.
There's more varieties of apples than there are grapes.
Wow.
For one. Do you know that?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
I know. What else was it that we were talking about the other day that we learned? Oh, olives. There's more varietals of olives than there are grapes for wine.
Wow.
Or grapes in general. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
I know. Food for thought. So, so we're getting a good little thick slice of apple, and you want to also, same thing, get a good little slice of white cheddar. This is Cabot Creamery.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Just a great basic one you can get at the grocery store. And then you're going to layer that on top of that. Then you're going to get some arugula. Nice little green. Arugula is going to give you a good peppery.
I love arugula.
I do
So
too.
nice.
It's great on pizza.
It is great
It's
on
great
pizza.
with
I love
cheese.
them.
Balanced with cheese. I love it. Fig, all that sort of
Oh, I
thing.
love fig and arugula.
Oh,
And honey drizzled over.
Yes.
Little feta.
So
Ooh.
good.
Okay, sorry.
So good. We digress. So you build this pretty little stack,
Yeah.
and then you're going to take a piece of prosciutto, and you're going to wrap it around it.
Beautiful.
See?
Yeah.
And you don't, most of the time you don't, the prosciutto will stick to itself.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to do
Oh, that's great.
I know, there's no reason to do a toothpick or anything, unless you're serving to a lot of people and you want it to be easy to pick up. But I usually don't. I usually just leave it.
That's
and
so
everyone,
nice.
so that paired with this wine is just lovely. So,
Wonderful.
so yeah, let's make a few.
Okay,
and
sure.
build a few. So, what are some? Do you have a favorite little summer appetizer that's a go-to for you?
Well, growing up in Mississippi, we did cucumber sandwiches.
Yes.
And we did tomato sandwiches.
Yes.
But it's not just any kind of mayo you use. It's homemade mayo.
Oh, so olive oil, eggs. And,
yes, but if you must, can I say a brand? Huh?
Duke's Blue Plate. Which one?
Neither.
Neither.
Neither one of those. I better
What
not
do you
say.
Mississippians
Just
do?
make your own.
Really? But if you got to go to the grocery store, what are you going to
Hellman's, honey.
Hellman's. I'm a Duke's fan, and
I like Duke's too. I like Duke's too.
I will say, when we moved to Kentucky,
Yeah. I'm not going to cut any.
yeah,
Do this.
when we moved to Kentucky, I had always just used Hellman's.
Yes.
That's what you had in Arkansas.
Right. Okay.
So Ricky and I moved to Kentucky when Hayden was like 5 months old, so it was 95.
December of 95.
Yeah, and little bitty town we moved to, and the only mayonnaise they had at the grocery store at that time was Blue Plate.
Okay.
And I just was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Mayonnaise
what are we
is
gonna
sacred. Mayonnaise is, that's like a
Mayonnaise,
thing.
it's a thing.
You
It's a
eat,
thing.
you love it or you hate it.
One thing about Texas and Mississippi, we're both really food-oriented places, and those things make a difference.
Yes, it does. It does. Our chicken salad, turkey salad, all those things that we make in our restaurant, I am very, very particular about the mayonnaise.
Can I just say that prosciutto is the Velcro of
It is.
all?
It
I mean, that's
totally is.
amazing.
Isn't it wonderful?
I never even
It's
thought
so
about
cute.
that. It just sticks right on there.
It does.
Okay, continue.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So I ended up falling in love with Blue Plate mayonnaise, and I loved it. And I was so thankful that like years later, when we moved back to Arkansas, it was probably 10 years later, I could find it in the grocery stores there. So
Yeah.
that or Duke's, I really love.
Okay.
But yeah,
We'll
it
make
is
your
fun.
own. This is fun. This
Yeah.
is easy.
It is
And-
easy.
And really packs a punch. I mean, this is still a delicious little appetizer.
Yes.
Or whatever you wanna
Super
call it.
simple.
Yeah.
Super simple. So next time you're having girlfriends over
This is so easy.
or whatever,
Right.
it's just easy. And most of the time, you're gonna have these ingredients on hand. Maybe not the prosciutto, but you're gonna have apples and cheese and arugula.
Yeah.
Or spring mix. You can
Yeah,
pull it out of spring mix.
Right.
I like arugula specifically, but sometimes some grocery stores don't have it. So just grab some spring mix and pull out of the spring mix what the arugula.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta improvise, like we've had to do in this kitchen this week.
yeah.
So cheers
Oh, cheers.
to great summer bites.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Pull up a chair, fill up a plate, come over early, you gon' stay late. Ain't nothing better than music and friends. It's gatherings and guitars.